Hello everyone! Recently, the stock market has experienced significant volatility due to several major developments, including geopolitical conflicts, the rapid advancement of AI, and SpaceX's IPO. The lack of clear market direction has made many investors anxious. Today, I would like to explore with you how these seemingly separate developments are reshaping the future logic of wealth creation and what profound impact they may have on family wealth architecture and wealth management. This topic is not only about investing, it is also about life planning for the decades ahead. I encourage you to watch until the end. What if I told you that, over the next decade, in addition to traditional factors such as markets, interest rates, and real estate, some analysts believe that developments in artificial intelligence, robotics, life sciences, and the emerging space economy may also have a meaningful impact on economic growth and wealth creation? Would you believe it? Recently, SpaceX officially went public, attracting enormous attention from global capital markets. Many people are asking, could SpaceX become the next world-changing super company? Which space-related stocks may benefit? Which technology stocks may come under pressure? In my view, these are not the most important questions. The truly important question is this: as human civilization enters a new stage of development, does our wealth management philosophy also need to evolve? Because what SpaceX's IPO represents may not simply be the rise of one company. It may represent the beginning of a new era. Let me analyze this with you from several key dimensions. 1. How has the logic of wealth creation changed over the past 25 years? If we look back at the history of wealth creation over the past 25 years, we can see that wealth has gone through several major migrations. The first stage, the Internet age. Around the year 2000, Google had just been founded. Amazon was still primarily an online bookstore. Many people believed the Internet was merely a new information tool. But what happened later? The Internet changed business models, changed the way information was distributed, and changed the global competitive landscape. Countless companies disappeared, countless new companies were born, and wealth began to migrate into the digital world. The second stage, the mobile internet era. In 2007, Apple launched the first-generation iPhone. At that time, many people thought it was simply a more advanced mobile phone. But more than a decade later, the mobile internet had changed payments, retail, advertising, social networking, media, and even people's way of life. Today, we cannot live without our phones, but very few people could have foreseen all of this back then. The third stage, the artificial intelligence era. After 2022, ChatGPT emerged and captured global attention. For the first time, many people realized that machines could not only execute tasks, but could also analyze, create, learn, and reason. In just a few short years, AI has already begun to change programming, law, financial analysis, customer service, translation, marketing, design, and education. Many tasks that were once required by professionals are now being assisted, or even partially replaced, by AI. And all of this is just beginning. 2. SpaceX is far more than rockets. It represents a much broader frontier. Many people see SpaceX as an aerospace company, but that may underestimate its true value. The infrastructure of the internet age was fiber optics. The infrastructure of the mobile era was wireless networks. The infrastructure of the AI age is data centers and computing power. So, what will the infrastructure of the next era be? It may include global satellite networks, low Earth orbit communication systems, robotic coordination networks, autonomous driving infrastructure, and global real-time data transmission platforms. Some observers view SpaceX as more than an aerospace company and believe its satellite and launch capabilities could become an important part of future communications and transportation infrastructure. If the internet age built the information superhighway, then SpaceX would help build the foundational network for a future global intelligent society. In my opinion, one possible outcome is that infrastructure developed by companies such as SpaceX could play a role similar to major transportation or communications networks today. 3. Why do these changes feel especially meaningful to me? If you have been following my channel, you may know that before becoming a wealth advisor, I worked for more than 20 years at multinational companies including GE, Goodyear, ArcelorMittal, Ingersoll Rand, and Trane Technologies. My career spanned much of the Asia-Pacific region, and I was fortunate to personally experience several of the most important industrial transformations of the past 2 decades. I still remember more than 20 years ago, when the internet was just beginning to enter the business world, many companies were discussing one question: would the internet truly change traditional industries? At that time, quite a few executives believed the internet was merely a new communication tool and would not fundamentally change business operations. History later proved that people had underestimated the internet. Around 2007, smartphones began to become widely adopted. Again, many people believed that mobile phones had simply gained a few extra functions and would not fundamentally change society. But looking back today, the mobile internet almost completely reshaped the business ecosystem. Later, cloud computing emerged. E-commerce rose rapidly. Social media changed communication. Artificial intelligence began to reshape knowledge work. Every time a technological revolution first appears, most people tend to underestimate its impact. That is because we are used to understanding the future through the lens of today's world, but the future often arrives faster than we imagine. I remember that when I worked at GE, the company often discussed one question internally: how would technological progress change industrial companies? At that time, the conversation was about the Internet of Things, automation, and globalization. Today, when I speak with clients about artificial intelligence, robotics, and SpaceX, I often have a sense of déjà vu. At the early stage of every major turning point, most people see risks, controversy, and anxiety. Only a few begin to see trends and opportunities. What wealth planning should truly do is neither fear change nor blindly chase hot trends, but to help a family build the ability to face change with confidence. These experiences have made me increasingly believe that the real danger is never technological change itself. The real danger is when the world has already changed, but we are still using yesterday's assumptions to understand tomorrow. Looking back at every technological revolution over the past 2 decades, the biggest beneficiaries were often not those who predicted the future earliest, but those who prepared for it in advance. Today, many people are discussing AI, robotics, SpaceX, and life sciences. I do not know who will become the biggest winner in the future, but it is possible that the pace of change over the next 20 years could be faster than what many of us experienced over the past 2 decades. For investors, the greatest risk may not be a market decline. It may be that their wealth structure is unable to adapt to a new world. The biggest future risk may not be missing the next opportunity, but using methods that worked in the past to face a world that has already changed. 4. The biggest future change may not be investment, it may be life itself. I believe many people are overlooking something even more important. The biggest future change may not be in the stock market. It may be in the way we live. AI is redefining knowledge work. Robotics is redefining labor. Autonomous driving is redefining transportation. Drones are redefining logistics. And developments in life sciences may redefine aging itself. Today, AI can already assist doctors in diagnosis. Robots can already assist in complex surgeries. Gene therapies help treat diseases that were once difficult to treat. More and more scientists are studying how to extend healthy longevity. The following examples are illustrative planning scenarios and should not be viewed as forecasts. If average life expectancy rises from 80 to 90, or even 100, what will happen? Retirement planning will need to change. Pension planning will need to change. Healthcare planning will need to change. Investment time horizons will need to change. Wealth transfer planning will also need to change. In the past, many people planned for retirement assuming they would live about 20 years after retiring. But in the future, that period could be 30 or even 40 years. This means that the focus of wealth management will no longer be only investment returns. It will also be about how wealth can support a longer life. 5. What is the biggest change in wealth management? In the past, many people believed wealth management simply meant investment management, finding the best stocks, the best funds, or the hottest industries. But the future may be very different. The greatest risk in the future may not come from the market itself, but from change. Industries may be disrupted more easily. Corporate life cycles may become shorter. Technology may evolve faster. Business models that once remained stable for decades may change within just a few years. Therefore, the core of future wealth management will shift from pursuing returns to managing uncertainty. 6. The most important ability over the next 20 years. Over the years, whether as a corporate executive at multinational companies or today as a wealth advisor, I have seen many successful companies. I have also seen many once great companies fade away. I have found one common pattern. Long-term success does not belong to those who are best at predicting the future. It belongs to those who are best at adapting to change. This is true for companies. It is also true for families. The essence of wealth management is to help a family build the ability to adapt to future change. Today, many investors still focus on one question: what is the next hot stock? What is the next hot industry? But in my view, the more important question should be, if the future changes dramatically, does my wealth structure have enough flexibility? Do I have sufficient liquidity? Have I done proper tax planning? Have I managed my risks? Have I prepared for intergenerational wealth transfer? Do I have the ability to adapt to future changes? Because the future is becoming harder to predict and change is accelerating. What truly matters is no longer guessing the future correctly. It is building a wealth system that can adapt to the future. Because the biggest risk in the future is often not changing itself. It remains stuck in the past after change has already happened. SpaceX's IPO may only be the beginning. Over the next 20 years, we may see AI change work, robotics change production, life sciences change longevity, the space economy change infrastructure, and even the trajectory of human civilization itself. No one knows who the biggest future winner will be. No one knows where the next revolution will come from. But one thing is certain: the future will continue to change. And the true value of wealth management is never about predicting the future. It is about helping a family build the ability to adapt to future change before that change arrives. Markets are beyond our control. The future cannot be predicted, but wealth structure can be planned. This is also the philosophy that Clarity Wealth Advisor has always believed in. I increasingly believe that the biggest change in the wealth management industry will not be that investment tools become more advanced, but that families will face greater uncertainty about the future. The role of a wealth advisor will also gradually evolve from a provider of investment advice into a wealth architect who helps families move through change and achieve long-term goals. If today's discussion raises questions about your own financial structure, you may wish to discuss these topics with qualified financial, tax, or legal professionals. I'm Daniel Deng. Thank you for your attention, and I'll see you next time.